What's up, everybody? We got another great weekend of fights ahead of us. UFC on ESPN, Santos versus Hill. And that means we've got some more fight predictions coming your way. If you're new to the show, so are we. I'm Patrick Gabunton, Jiu Jitsu black belt, retired MMA fighter, currently battling my way through lactose intolerance. I'm here with my good friend, my brother man from another motherland, professional MMA journeyman, and Jiu Jitsu virtuoso, Captain Heel Hook himself, Alexander Ryachich. We're here to bring you some very important fight talk. And if you're not ready, it's time to get ready. We're 101 MMA Clinic. Let's go. Cheers.
Cheers. What do you got tonight? Great. Where's the fucking.
I've got some hard kombucha brought to you by Strange Beast. Not yet a sponsor. I got too excited. I spilled some already on my shirt. What you
Really?
got?
I have boat and shoes, but let's call it boat and hose. Boat and hose.
Hey, speaking of hoes, I see you got a guest over there. Who's that?
That's my good friend Esmeralda.
Okay, I hope she's ready for some fight talk.
Yeah, she has
What's
some.
up, Esmeralda?
I don't know how she ended up here, but like she's good. Like I can more relaxed. I can put
Yep.
my hand here and just hug her.
Babe magnet over there, Alexander Ryachich.
What's up, brother? How you doing?
Pretty good, better than yesterday. I'm chilling. I'm ready for these fights this weekend. How about you?
I don't know. Like after last weekend, I don't know. Am I ready for anything? Like last fight really got me. Like I was like, sure, it's not gonna end up in decision, and I put like all of my marbles, not all. Like I always like keep it, but like that was like my. I think maybe my biggest pick, like, and it was the last one, and I was like, I just throw like a little bit more money that way, and I was expecting it's gonna come back, and even it was like a small, it wasn't like usually what I do, I think it was minus. I cannot even remember now. Like I'm so pissed about it that, but
Pena
like,
did you dirty.
yeah, but I did couple goods, like let's
Yeah, can we pull those up?
yeah, let's go like this. This is the one that I want to talk about, like especially to the people like who likes to like to play but like don't know what to do, and this is like really important, like what I was trying to explain what I'm good at, like Brando Moreno, like we talk about it, how the fight is gonna end up, that he's gonna like probably progress in the round 4 and 5, 3, 4 and 5, and I think he even did like excellent in the first and the second round,
Mm.
in my opinion, he was winning that match. Like I don't think everybody is agreeing, but like that's how I saw it. In the third round, when I placed this bet, um, he was losing. Kai Kara France get the momentum. Like he looked like that he's taking over the fight. But like previously, if we went to our story that Brandon will pick up in the round 4 and 5, for me that was like a sure thing. Um, but I didn't expect that he's gonna finish him in that round. So this is basically the bet that I place, um, even minute less, minute before the finish. So, and what I want to talk about, like the beginning of the fight, the line on him was minus 210. Sorry.
Hmm.
So basically, on $60, you would get like 85 back. So you would make $25. Like the momentum, when I placed it, it was minus 140. So basically, on $60, I made 42, let's say 43. Like almost double that you if you place that bet in the beginning of the match. And that's something that I was saying even the previous time, and even before when we were talking about making about this. Like my feeling during the fights, like something that I think most people don't see. I think I'm good in that, and especially in that live betting. And talking about that, and and the previous weekend. Also, Alex Morono. Like I think it started the fight. I felt it like something, and it was like pretty good odd on him. And I placed like a 50, and I got like 130 back. That was like
Nice.
pretty good one. And I think this one I placed before. It was like I think almost doubling money. So for me, that looked really good. And coming back to, I was thinking even to go by the KO, and I think I put it one smaller bet on $10 KO, and it ended up how you said. He climbed to the back and he got a finish. So I got like 50% right. You're 100% right. So
I know some
that,
things. I know some things.
I guess you do. Like it went like how you said it. So that's
So it wasn't all bad, Alex. You won
no,
some.
no, no. But basically, like all that I made, that's why I'm pissed. Like everything that I was building like whole night and have a good,
Yeah.
I throw it out in the last one. Like and the craziest like what I did, like even during the fight when Pena was losing, I was really like even like a doubling money on her. Like it was like plus 1,100 that she will finish with KO TKO, and I was going for it. Like, and even like I went like later on, just like her that she will win, like how it was progressing, and I really saw that
Yeah.
in a couple moments. I think also Amanda felt it, and that's why she did a perfect match. Even if I'm angry on her that she didn't went for a finish, or didn't allow Pena to go hard in stand up, like she did like perfect match, and I think like that's why she's the goat. Like she found the easiest way to the victory, even though it looked like that she had some trouble on the ground. But I
Mm.
think that was minor. How it would be like that it was like standing. Like even though Pena was like rocked pretty bad couple of times, I really don't know. Props to her how she managed to push through it, but I think she was dangerous. Amanda felt that she
Yeah.
will maybe even spend her cardio, and that's why she went like I think for takedowns and secure way to the victory.
Some of the fans might not like it. I know a lot of people want to see a knockout, but I mean that is some
Me,
championship
definitely not.
caliber shit. But like that's what it takes to be a champion. Like she took all the risk out once like what you said, like once she felt the danger of Pena because the knockout might have been coming, like she just took that risk right out the window and she took her down and it was impressive. She got her belt back, so
No,
congrats
no,
to
that's what I'm saying. Like a championship, like that's why she was like a champion for such a long time, and that's why many of people consider her for a woman's goat. Like she really did like perfect match.
her.
Do I like it? Really not.
Uh,
I was like, I was like hoping for that finish, and I saw the fight going in different direction. I really didn't expect that. Number one, I didn't expect Pena to survive all that,
Dude, oh my gosh.
and
I
number
thought for sure it was gonna end with her face planted on the ground. I thought like not before the fight. Before the fight, I had Pena winning, but like during that fight, I it looked bad, man.
no, it's crazy. I heard
At least
also
the
like a
first few
chunk of
rounds.
that she had to go to plastic surgeon. Like chunk of
Yeah.
her of on her forehead. I think it was like chopped off. Like so crazy. Like props to that girl, but like, oof, that's crazy. That's crazy, especially when you see women like going to that war.
Right. No, but it's good. Nowadays, plastic surgery is so good. She might come out looking even better. Who knows?
She looked even good before, so I don't know.
Yeah, I
Maybe
can't.
she's like, when I'm already there, do this, do this.
Yeah, might as well. Fix that nose,
Why
whatever.
not? You're
Not
already
not to.
there. Okay, brother, let's go to this fight cards. Let's see what we have this weekend.
All right,
Let's
so this
go.
is this is part of the Ultimate Fighter finale, topped off with some high level fighters already in the UFC. So
Yeah, this ghost here, they're finalists.
yeah,
Basically, like we are continuing from the last weekend. What we saw, like that was like Ultimate Fighter Pena against
Right.
Nunez. This is the finalist, So, but let's start from the beginning of the card. We have Ariana Lipski against Priscilla Cajoeira. If I said it good, you
Hey,
want to try
that's
to do it?
something. That's something. Close. I think I can't do much better. Priscilla Cachuera, I like to say.
Okay, you sound better. Who do you got here, brother?
All right. Well, before I get to the shit that pisses me off, I'll start with the positives. I think Priscilla Cachoeira, when she's throwing her straight punches, her jabs, her crosses, she's very accurate, and she has some stunning power, at least enough to drop and KO some of these ladies. I think if there's one weakness, one glaring weakness she has, it's in the grappling, so that could be something Ariane Lipski looks to take advantage of. I doubt it, but it might be wise to try to take her down because her takedown defense is pretty poor. And when she's on the ground, speaking of shit that I don't like, bro, she's got to be like the long lost daughter of like Husamar Palhares. I think she's one of the dirtiest fighters. You know what fight I'm talking about with Jillian Robertson, right? She has that fully locked rear naked choke in on her, and instead of trying to fight the hands or even tapping, she fucking reaches for the eyeball, not once but twice. I mean, I
I
guess
mean,
no harm, no
effective.
foul, but
Was it
she
effective?
fucking that's dirt, man. And but props to her. I guess the ref didn't see it. She got choked out anyway. Um, with Aaron,
Other girl didn't saw it also after that for sure.
yeah, I mean, fucking, I guess do what you got to do, right? But Aaron Lipski, I think if she has a path to victory, it could be the takedowns. She doesn't go for them too often in her fights. But one thing I do like out of her is her right hook to open and to close her combinations. She likes that right hook. It's pretty good for her. And against Priscilla Cachuera, who often keeps her hands pretty low, maybe it's enough to catch her. But if I had to put money on it, my money's on Priscilla. I think she has more firepower in her hands and enough to get the job done, maybe with a TKO somewhere in the second or third round.
That's probably that crack cocaine. Do you know what I'm talking about?
that cocaina.
Yeah, like I was really like I was going more like I'm gonna skip even technical part. I'm gonna agree with you what you said. Like the only difference that I want to say, Ariana Lipski, she was like a KSW champion. Like
Okay.
she's like Polish. I was like surprised when I saw that. That's why I was looking for. But I guess like in the last name, it's not Brazilian. Like so she have
Mhm.
Polish heritage. That's why she was fighting in KSW. Like I think that's
I
maybe
didn't know that.
biggest European organization, and it's coming from Poland. And she was a champion over there. And she have that experience. Like fighting on the big stage. That's pretty big show. That's like something KSW, I don't know, did you ever watch? That's similar to Pride.
For sure, and I think like you'll see a lot of Eastern Europeans right now. They're coming in hot, So to win a championship belt over there, like I do think that says a lot.
Yeah,
And and she has a fight against Valentina Shevchenko, who's like a not Valentina, her sister Antonina Shevchenko, who's a
yeah.
Muay Thai world champion. And as far as the striking, she didn't look that bad. Surprisingly, it was more grappling, but as far as striking, she didn't look too bad against her.
No, and I think like that's why I'm giving like I'm just not agreeing with you. Everything what you said, I agree. It's just like I was more interesting about like in this fight, I was like more digging about some other stuff. Like that's why I said like Priscilla, if you didn't know, and that's gonna be interesting probably like for the people to hear. I'm not gonna go too much into it. Who is interested, go look. She was like addict on crack cocaine for
Bro, oh
years.
no way.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah.
You think she's on that John Jones diet, is what you're saying?
Yeah, yeah, that's how she's got to eat. No, but like it's very interesting story. Like, I'll not go all about that. But also now, like I think recently she had a scandal with her girlfriend that
That sounds. I think so. Yeah, didn't her girl post like a video or some shit?
yeah,
Am I
yeah.
thinking of the
So
right girl? Yeah.
yeah, so going
Okay.
mentally, like in this fight, and I think this is the first her fight after that. So that's the question where she's gonna be
Yeah.
mentally. And for me, one of the most, I mean, she's mental obviously. If she was like pretty young, hooked
Dude. Oh
on
my
crack
god.
cocaine. I'm kidding. And like she looks like really like a dangerous woman, but I think like Lipsky is more technical, and
Mhm.
especially like now, what's going on if she doesn't put all that rage and chaos, like, and I think she can be a little bit like off the how to say not concentrate to the match. So I'm gonna give my, and as the bookmakers also gave it to Ariane, they
Oh
gave it
really?
advantage. So we have like how much it is, minus 175. Against Priscilla is like plus 150. I don't say this is a bad bet, but like it's a long shot. Like
Yeah.
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go with Ariane.
Really. I think Priscilla's a live dog in this. I mean, Lipsky, she has a striking. I just think she lacks the power. Maybe you could correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know if she has too many like TKOs, at least in the UFC. But yeah, Couture, she's like that tough cocaine warrior now. So
No, I think like she had only in UFC one by the finish. Everything else came by decision, and she
mhm.
had a two loss by TKO. And interesting fact also, like they both have one performance of the night. Sorry, my mistake. Priscilla has also one fight of the night, and they have like a same score in UFC: 3 wins and 4 defeats.
Mhm.
So, and also like if we go to their previous opponents, they both have a loss from Molly McCain, and only Ariana has like a win over uh, Carolina, Luana, and Priscilla have defeat. So that's maybe
Mhm.
something that we can look to it. And that's something when I was like making like a study of this fight. That's why I gave my advantage, like a bookmakers gave to Ariana. But like I think she's like too big favorite on the books. Like, and Priscilla has a chance. So if somebody wants to play, it's maybe not bad, but like, eh, considering what's happening in her life, I would maybe
Mhm.
skip this one.
Interesting statistic. John Jones has never lost a fight on coke, so there's that.
That's the problem. She's off the court.
Oh, okay. We'll see. We'll
She's
see.
clean now. She's like that's how she went to the mixed martial arts. Like that's how she got clean.
Okay.
Okay, let's leave the girls behind. This one is much more interesting for me. This
Two big
one,
boys.
heavyweight, big boys. Who do you got here?
This is another fight where they have some common opponents, Tai Tuivasa and Marcin Tybura. But if you look at the results for both of those fights that each of those guys share, it's kind of hard to take much away, right? Because one has a win over Marcin, one has a loss, and then the same can be said about Tai Tuivasa. But if you look at what they've been doing as of lately, I think Augusto with, three loss streak and not just losses, but three TKO finishes, it's kind of hard for me to pick this guy. And then if you look at Spivak, what impresses me, especially with a heavyweight, is his takedowns, right? He's got some like judo esque takedowns, nice foot sweeps, Tayatoshis or Haragoshis, whatever you want to call them. But I really like his takedowns.
Sorry. I would say it, backyard takedowns. Like grabbing the head and going for that trip. Like I don't know, like when you had a
Yeah, he's got like against like Hardy, he got one of those for sure against Greg Hardy. But I mean, he's fucking strong too. Like I think Hardy he cuts to make 265. Greg Hardy
yeah, he
does.
got like 30 pounds.
Yeah, and Spivak just freaking picked him up and tossed him on the ground.
Couple
But
times.
there's some technique too. Like he reminds me a little bit of like Khabib, not quite at the level, but how he ties up the legs, how he goes for the wrist rides, or how Michael Bisping calls it the Dagestani handcuff. But it's just a wrist ride. And so I like his ground and pound once he does get to the ground. I think Sakai, he's a jiu-jitsu brown belt, so he might be a little comfortable on the ground, but it's different, I think, at heavyweight when these guys are so big and Spivak's not even looking to pass the guard. He's just looking to ground and pound you. I wouldn't be surprised if Spivak gets a TKO sometime in the second round, just ground and pound. How about you?
Yeah, I agree. I agree completely with you. I was joking about like I really like his takedowns. Like because they are like unorthodox. Like especially that. Like I think he throw even tied to Iwasa
Mhm.
once or twice like that. Like grabbing that head and arm and going over.
Yeah.
And like he's pretty tall. Like and
Mhm.
lengthy. Like not that even that tall. How he looks like. Even though only like I mean only 6'3", but like he
Oh
looks like yeah, that's what I'm saying. Only like look now they're both 6'3", but like his build, like reminds me a little bit if you can remember Stefan Struve, like a
oh yeah.
skyscraper. Yeah, like
Yeah, tall motherfucker.
yeah, he was like I don't know how tall he was. He was like
I think it was 6'7".
he was the tallest guy I think ever in UFC.
Yeah,
Not
he should have played basketball. I think.
yeah, like that's and he reminds me a little bit like him, like
Mhm.
that build, because like also if you look, they're like how to say same height, but like he just looked like like that type of lengthy guy.
You're right. Yeah, and I will say, like, even though Augusto, he's coming off three losses in a row, all by finish. Like, his striking doesn't look bad. It's just, I think at this weight class, you get clipped once, and it could be it. Having said that, it's like three in a row. Could his chin be gone, or is it just a matter of that's how heavyweight goes? It's hard to say, but that three in a row, it doesn't look good to me.
Yeah, but also if you look like his last loss is against Thai, and the Thai I think that fought him is not the same Thai that Spivak had a fight
Right.
against, like also Rosenstruck can put
Yeah.
anybody to sleep, and not to say over him. I think when over him it was like coming back, and he had pretty good fight against over him,
Mhm.
he looked really good until that finish, but like you said in heavyweight that finish can come any moment, especially like
Right.
elite striker as Overeem is. But also three in a row, he's probably fighting for his place in UFC now. But like with the
Right.
heavyweight, we saw that they have like little bit more, how to say, it's not that deep division, so people stay longer,
I
you know.
think a couple weeks ago we were talking about a fight where it was two heavyweights, and one had like a three-fight losing streak, one had a four-fight losing streak. So maybe he's got one
Yeah,
more loss in him. I don't know, but heavyweight, I would agree. They're trying to hold on to some of these guys.
yeah, and also like if you look the quality of the level of the previous, I forgot even the names. Sakai is like I think much higher ranked than them and much more respected. So I think even if he lose, he will not lose his position. They're
He's
gonna.
he's fighting good guys, and he was a ranked fighter. He was top 10 when he lost to Tuivasa. So it's not like he's nobody.
Yeah, yeah, and especially if you look like he has victory over Tibura Blago
Hmm.
Ivanov, who I thought like, and it was split uh, decision loss, like, and I really thought for that guy like few years ago that he can go even for a title. I think
Yeah.
the Vegas got a tool on him, and he didn't how to say shine in his full perspective. But he was like top prospect, I think, from Europe in heavyweight,
Yeah.
and I think just like the lifestyle, what I heard also from some people,
Oh, really? Okay.
yeah, yeah, he likes to party even too much. But
Yeah.
like he was like a maybe like a more disciplined. So, but like still, even like that, to beat him up, like it's how to say, for me, like it shows your quality, and also like being against Arlovsky, even though Arlovsky is like older, but we see now he's like on the pretty good streak even
Yeah.
now after the
Yeah.
loss.
He's sticking around.
Yeah, so this is gonna be interesting. Like I said, we have like Spivak as a pretty big favorite.
Hmm.
Sorry, he's like minus 255. And Sakai is like plus 215. So I don't know. Like, how I like underdogs, and I don't like big favorites.
Are
So
you are you taking Sakai in this?
no, I mean, if somebody wants to play with the fire and just throw it over there, like for some small parlay, I would say go for it. But like, I think the Spivak is in pretty good position. Like even that lost against Aspinall, I wouldn't take it against him because like he took that fight on the short notice.
Right. Yep.
Yeah. So for me, like I think this is pretty clear that Spivak will get it. But again, this is big boys, heavyweight. One shot can change the outcome of the fight. But still, I would like skip this one, or maybe like even I would play like that's not gonna go in decision. That's I think maybe the best bet on this one.
My money's on Spivak.
Yeah.
If I was betting, I actually wouldn't skip this fight. I would skip the co-main, but we're not there yet. We're not there yet.
Okay, let's go to the next one. We are here in Ultimate Fighter. This is my piece of art. I try to make something for us, so we can put the
What a cute.
because like it would look like this.
Mhm.
So I don't know. I think this
No,
look.
I like the Rajic edition. Should have your signature somewhere on there, your autograph.
Yeah, I will do it now. Okay, brother. Who you got here?
This is a pretty easy call for me for a few reasons, but I'll just go right off the bat. Juliana Miller is my pick. Um, Watching these fights, I'm gonna be honest. I wasn't too thrilled with the striking. She's got a solid step in jab. Sometimes she'll throw a cross after that, but mainly what Miller wants to do is clinch and drag you down to the ground, either with an outside trip or maybe even pull guard if she has to. And I like her ground game. She's an active submission grappler competitor. I've actually been on a couple of events the same as her, so maybe I'm a little bit biased. I like to root for submission grapplers, but I think as long as she gets it to the ground, I mean, she can do whatever she wants to Walker. No offense to her, Brogan Walker. She seems like a strong individual. She keeps her hands low, which might help in defending some takedowns, but for the most part, Miller likes like the upper body clinches to get her takedowns, whether it's a trip or maybe a body lock to get to the back. Um, for me, I think she might she might take some damage. Miller might in the stand up, but it's gonna be a matter of time before she clinches, takes her down, and I'm thinking maybe armbar this time. She has good Kimura attacks. She transitions very well. with the Kimuras. I know her last fight in the Ultimate Fighter, they called it a Kimura, and it kind of was, but she transitioned from a pretty nice one of those arm bars in the armpits. It was pretty nice. So I think an armbar victory. That's what I'm calling from Miller. How about you?
Yeah, I agree with you. And with the reason she's like slight favorite, minus 120, and like even though she has only like three professional fights, and if you count these two in the Ultimate Fighter, like she has like a big experience in amateur. Like
Mhm.
I think she was like 5-0 in amateur. Like plus those tournaments, like you said, like she was competing a lot. So I think that's the experience that's gonna help her, because also like Brogan like had like 7-2 before the Ultimate Fighter.
Mhm.
And I don't think she had like that tough competition.
Yeah,
So I would go also on the side, and I think Juliana Miller can do it and win and get her contract with UFC.
interesting fact is like Juliana Miller, like obviously she's not super experienced in MMA, so she hasn't fought the best of the best, but she does have a match in submission grappling against Bia Mesquita, who is like the best of the best, and she actually has a win over her. So she maybe hasn't fought high level competition yet in MMA, but she does have experience in jiu-jitsu at least with that, and I
Yeah,
think that goes a long way.
yeah, I completely agree with you, and her performance like in the Ultimate Fighter, like show that she's with the reason in the final. Like even though like we were not so much excited about those fights, but like let's skip that part, and just let's keep it on positive.
You know what? It reminded me a little bit of like Hoist Gracie, just a little bit. Like motherfucker, like he has okay, some straight strikes, but let's get this down to the ground. Let's not stand up too much. That's how I felt. And Hoist he's one of the greats. So I'm not saying
He's
too much
in
bad
the
about that
Hall of
guy.
the Fame, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's a
So
compliment. That's the compliment.
we're not
Let's
speak.
move
We're not
along. Let's
hating.
move to the next one.
Yeah. All right. Who we got next? Who we got next?
Okay, next one. Talking about, we have Muhammad Usman against Zach Paul.
No, no. Let me see that pretty picture you made. There
Yeah,
it is.
this one
That's
is
it.
terrible. This one is terrible. Like they were like,
Okay.
I couldn't match it nicely, so this is what we got. Okay,
I don't know. It looks like you're
this is what
biased towards
it is.
Usman.
Me and technology, we don't go together. That's it.
And we managed thus far. So for this one, for me, it's kind of an easy pick. I got Zach in this one. I think Usman, he has that wrestling background. He's the brother of Kamaru, obviously. He's got that wrestling background, but as of late, he doesn't use it too much. He prefers to strike. And when it comes to striking, Zach is just way more smooth, way more relaxed. Usman, he looks very stiff out there. And I mean, he could knock my ass out, sure. But I think against Zach, I think Zach has a good diversity in strikes. He'll go low to the body as well as high. And my money's on Zach knocking this dude out as long as he stays out of Usman's overhand right, because Usman does like to throw that bomb from the overhand right.
Yeah, interesting fact. I was just they're teammates. I think they're both from Elevation, from Denver. So that's
Oh,
interesting.
yeah.
And I was looking like the how to say it, the couple interviews of Zach. Like he looks so confident that he got this.
Uh-huh.
Interesting story about him. Like he was the detective. He left his job. Like he started doing it full time. Um, and he start training. That's because he was they just brought him because he's big guy to spar with over him and help him. What's his name? The big guy that was fighting against the hospital. I My brain blocked.
Spivak?
No. The big guy who fought like from them. He's from Chicago. Our guy,
Big. Oh, Blades.
Blades Curtis.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
my
Oh,
brain.
he went to help Blades. Okay.
Yeah. So basically, his start in MMA was like uh, being ragdolled by Curtis and Overing. So he had a pretty good start. And he become good at it and become his passion, and he even left detective job to do this full time. So he's really determined, what I can see, and I think it looks like at least he's so confident that he got this.
Mhm.
Uh, and only thing, like, he's smaller heavyweight. He was
Yeah.
fought most of his fights in a light heavyweight. So that's one of the things. Even though he did pretty good in the house, like, even like he had one finish pretty easily against really decent guy. Like, I think also his competition was tougher than Usman's.
Oh, for sure.
You know And talking about Usman, what I liked, like in PFL fight, I cannot remember now the name of the guy that he fought. Uh, I like only that he doesn't have a quit in him. Like, he is
Mhm.
going forward. He is not that technical, but like, he is
Right.
going to take your head off. You know, so that's the deal. Also, like, for me, he's very. It's easy to predict what he's going to do, especially now. Zach uh, had trained with him. He probably knows
Right.
his habits, his feints, and everything. Even though he doesn't have too much feints,
Mhm.
so it's gonna be. I think that's why maybe easy job for him. But
Yeah.
again, it's a big show. It's a big guys. One punch can decide everything. And for uh, how big? Like, give me just a second. Sorry. I think Usman is like 2-1. Yeah. So plus 205, and Zach is like minus 245. Pretty big favorite.
That
So
that seems fair to me.
yeah, but you know how I think. Like, I cannot make my money on that
Right.
thing. So even though, like, I was thinking, like, he's Usman's brother, maybe there's something, like, like, apple doesn't fall far from the tree, but we're talking here apple and oranges, so
Yeah. I think it's something about Usman that is like impressive in a way is that like as stiff as he is and like he's breathing heavy out the mouth after the first round, but
but he's
even
a
though he
goat.
looks physically tired, it doesn't actually affect like his activity. He's still throwing, he's still coming forward even if he looks tired. So credit to him for just fighting through that, and I think it's probably part of that wrestling mindset is just he's fucking tough.
Yeah, no, I said even the fight in PFL that he lost, like, he was fighting till the end. Like, he didn't tap. He went to sleep. That's
Mhm.
saying about that mentality. And I think that's something that maybe can give him a chance. So I don't know. I would like go this one again. Heavy guys. I would say Zach, but like on minus 245. What you can do there. Like,
Not much money to be made on this one. But
no,
props
too much
props
risk.
to Team Elevation for getting like two guys not only in the Ultimate Fighter, but their two guys actually make it in the finale. So props to them. They're doing something right, right?
Yeah, they had pretty good, like, before, like Curtis over him, and now like new guys coming up. Like, so it's rare to find in one gym couple good heavyweights. So they're doing something good to bring big people and to make them up in a good fighters.
Yeah. Let's get some of that water.
I mean, what? Not water, food, brother. Food. Food is gonna
Oh
get.
yeah,
If you
yeah.
drink
No, they're big
water, you're
boys
not
over
gonna
there.
get bigger.
Big boys.
Okay, brother. Let's go to the next one. Yeah, now it's becoming interesting. You said you have something for Coco main event.
I mean, this is the fight. I would put money on all the other fights, just not this one. This is so close to me. Like they have a few common opponents, but it's hard to really grasp any of them, right? Like they both lost to Wonder Boy, which I thought like fucking Wonder Boy's tough, but they showed good enough striking defense to not get knocked out, right? They both have a win over Nico Price, right? They both finished him. And then the one fight where they differ is Bilal Muhammad. But so Luque, he lost to Bilal in his last fight, Go Chicago. But when Neil fought Bilal, that was 3 years ago, and I think, in my opinion, Bilal is a different fighter. So it's
Yeah,
kind of hard to tell from just those fights. Luque, I would have to give the slight edge to just because of the submission threat. In his most recent wins, he's got back-to-back Darce finishes, and they're both coming out of tough spots where he wasn't really winning, and then he was able to come back and pull off the submission. Um, One thing that I think is a strength out of Luque that isn't really gonna be in this fight so much is the calf kicks. He's got really good calf kicks, and against a southpaw, I don't know if that same calf kick is gonna be as available. Maybe he'll go for it, but if he's throwing that right leg to the calf, it's not gonna be there against Jeff Neal. Whereas Jeff Neal, he has a highlight reel of like left high kicks to the head KO finishes. But again, like I said, like against Wonderboy Thompson, I think they both showed that they're hard to finish. Neither one of these guys have been finished in the UFC. So I think it's going to be close when it comes to striking, but I would have to give the slight edge to Luque again because of the submission threats. If it goes down there, when it's this close in a fight, I think you go for the guy who has more ways to win, and that's Luque. How about
yeah.
you?
I agree with you. I don't know. For me, like he's like a dark horse in that category. Like it can really easy happen to him. What happened to Charles Oliveira in 155? Um, like Charles was also flying under the radar for such a long time. And he had I don't know how many fights. I cannot go now to statistic. Same like Luke. He has 18
Mhm.
fights in UFC. 14 and 4 is his score. He lost only like I think from the top guys. Stephen Thompson, like you said, Belal won, and that last one, it wasn't
Oh,
his best performance.
yeah.
His stand up is amazing. Like the chokes, anacondas, and Darcy's, like I think maybe the best in UFC. Like what I saw, like uh, just talk about like he got a finish against like for me one of the favorite guys considering the grappling Chiesa,
Yep.
so Chiesa, pardon me. So I think that's gonna, and especially I think against the guy like Jeff Neal, like, and especially if you said if he managed to slow him down and chop that leg, it's gonna be even easier for him.
Mhm.
So we're gonna see, but I'm really like I like Jeff, like his athleticism, his like his left hand, like
Yeah.
so it's really tough, but like I would go like and let me see. I think sorry. Yeah, but like he's too big favorite, like you
Mhm.
said,
I
one night.
thought I thought the odds honestly were going to be a lot closer. Like for
Yeah,
me,
me too.
this is
Yeah,
a pick 'em fight. It's going to be very close.
Yeah, I'm giving like a slight edge to Luke, but only reason is like because Jeff Neal can shut you off in a second.
Yeah.
But like I would go with Luke, just like be aware like minus 180 is not that great. So that's it. I would still give it to Vicente.
Hmm. Likewise, and speaking of that Chiesa fight, that's one fight that kind of reminded me a lot of like Oliveira. That's a good point you made. Like he was lose like Chiesa got to his back where he wants to be. Luque had the composure and the patience to get out of that and then actually submit Chiesa, who like Chiesa himself, he likes that Bravo. He likes that Darce choke as well.
Yeah,
So like to pull that off, like that come from behind victory, albeit it was just one round, but still like I think that's a championship like set like mindset right there
yeah,
is to
I
come
think
back
so.
from that.
Like like same if you go like just a couple of years ago, who would say for Charles Oliveira that even
Hmm.
though he was more like getting finishes, but like he was like wandering, not here, not there, being loose, and then he
Hmm.
just exploded. I think that can happen to Vicente Luque too. Like
Yeah, for
it
sure.
easily he can be. For me, he's like a dark horse in that category. So even on minus 190, I'm gonna go with him. And I think
Hmm.
that's Esmeralda's pick. Second win, second round finish for Luque.
Yeah. I think he's on a short list for the championship contenders because I mean, if he beat Bilal Muhammad, I think he was gonna get a title
Yeah,
fight. So he's not too far, not too far.
yeah. And let's go. Last one for tonight.
All right, we got the main event.
Main event.
Let's go.
Jamal.
This is back to back main events from a Chicago fighter. I know Jamal Hill. They say fighting out of Michigan, but I don't give a fuck. I'm gonna claim him as a Chicago fighter because he's born in Chicago. So we got back to back Chicago fighters in the main event. Let's go.
Yeah, I guess we are becoming fighting city. Even and Thiago Santos. This is very interesting for me. But I'm
Yeah, who
going
you got?
to who I got. Oof. Again, like I cannot go. How much is Jamal Hill favorite?
Let's
Sorry, let
let's pull that up. I know he is a favorite.
minus two
That's
seventy
a
five. Do I see
decent
it right?
favorite.
Yeah, like I cannot just like on that that like you give Thiago Santos plus 230. I'm gonna take that all day, even if I lose.
Yeah.
For me, Thiago Santos is one of the best guys in light heavyweight category. Honestly, like
Right.
he had couple not that great performances, especially um, uh, 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 against who do I say, like against Rakic, but like also Rakic didn't have that great performance. So what to say, like, and he lost from John Jones. Who
Did he
else?
though?
Yeah,
I mean, he did, but one of those judges gave it to Thiago Santos, and
yeah.
that's
I mean, like, it was amazing performance. Like, I would be super happy that he managed to take the title from John Jones.
mhm.
That would be like really like. I think John Jones deserved it, would deserve that. Like, to stay without the title, especially after all that shit that he
Yeah.
did through the years, like, but like again, like he's like a special kind, and I guess doesn't matter whatever he does.
He's
Still,
gotten gifted some decisions, I think, as of late.
yeah, I mean, I would be much happier that once upon a time how to say, Gustafsson took it away from
Mhm.
him. That would be, I think, maybe my favorite moment in UFC, to be honest.
Alex, do you know I was at that fight? I watched that fight live.
Really?
Yeah, that was in Toronto, Canada. Yeah, I was there for my birthday actually.
You never said that to me.
Yeah, no, and everybody in that stadium thought that Gustafsson won, including me.
Yeah, that's what I'm telling you. Like, very easily it could go other
Yeah.
way, and I think really Gustafsson deserved that title. And I think we would see even more from John Jones if he mm, got that lost, you know?
Mhm.
So that's the question. Again, maybe it will be psychically destroy him, or it will be like a best martial artist, like even like in the years coming, nobody will get on that level, you know.
Yeah.
But never mind. We are not here to talk about that.
Does Jamal Hill have a chance against Thiago Santos, who you claim is one of
Honestly,
the best?
talking about like he has something special like John Jones.
Hmm.
I think I never saw the guy who is attacking the body as much as Jamal Hill. You know, that's like, you know, like when you say like, and I went back to Ankalaev, that he doesn't have that X factor less when I was putting money against him, you know, and made mistake. But like that X factor, I think like he's really believing in himself, like Jamal Hill,
Right.
and plus like that body attacks are really amazing. You know, he have power in his hands, but like what did I took over like rewatching his fights and everything is that. And also I have to go back rewatching again. I think he lost from Darko the fight against my Serbia friend. Yeah, in his first fight in UFC. No, I was going over like he was making more damage and everything. But if you go back to the fight, he could easily lost round 1 and 3. And really
Hmm.
interesting, I think it was like on the score of the judges, it was like 29-27
Who was this again?
against Darko Stosic.
Oh, okay, okay.
He is from Serbia, and that was Jamal's first fight in UFC.
Uh-huh.
You know, I think I don't know how the judges didn't give that last round to Darko. So if it was 29-27, that's like basically 3 times 8, yeah, 27, yeah. So he didn't won any round, but like one round, it wasn't like it was like 9-9. You know, like
Mhm.
that's crazy. But like in my opinion, rewatching, and I'm like little bit more biased. I
Yeah, yeah.
trained Darko and I know him for a long time, so maybe that also. But like I could see that judges go against.
Okay, Darko should be in the main event. That's what you're saying. That's what I hear.
That's
All
agreeing with me. That's my point.
right.
Okay, let's forget about that. Like, where we at? Who do you got first? Like,
Well, I'm impressed with Hill too. And before looking at these fights, I would say he's the easy pick. But after watching like Thiago Santos's fights, like man, he is really freaking good. And the guys that he's lost to, like he has lost more recently, they're all freaking killers, right? John Jones, who was the champ, Glover Teixeira, who became the champ, Alexander Rakic, who like
I
if it
actually,
wasn't for that freak injury, I think he's gonna fight for a title eventually. You know, like he's lost to some really good guys, and so like I think Santos, if he comes right with like a solid game plan, he could give Jamal Hill trouble, especially with the leg kicks. Like Santos, he has a very leg kick heavy game, and I think like in the John Jones fight, he fucked up both of his knees. Right, he had both knees, I think, underwent surgery, so it
yep.
took a little bit for him to get like back on track. But what I noticed in his last fight is he's back to throwing a lot of kicks again against Ankalaev, right? So maybe he could give Jamal Hill trouble. Who Jamal Hill like he doesn't check a lot of kicks, but that power in that right hand of Jamal Hill, I think it might be too much. Interesting. He is a southpaw, but with that right hand, he cracked who is it? OSP. He finished OSP from Orthodox. So like I think his game plan is usually to kind of set shit up from southpaw, go to the body, like you said, and then switch to, maybe he's a right-handed fighter that fights southpaw, and he
Could
just
be,
switches to
could be.
orthodox and
I
gets
even
it.
checked that, and we're gonna probably like in the future we're gonna have more talks about him, so we will have more knowledge about, and who knows, like about that. That's interesting thought. But let's go back to Santos. Like, is it possible that we are talking about the guy who is uh, 14-9 in UFC? He is 4-4 in light heavyweight. So imagine 4-4, and we are
Hmm.
giving him like so much props. That's saying like who he fought, like,
Yeah.
and even if you go to his losses, like you said, like really easily against John Jones, it could bend, it could go his way against John Jones.
Right.
Against Glover, he was winning that fight.
Hmm.
He was like,
And that was after two surgeries.
yeah, he was
Hmm.
winning that fight. And let's say he end up finished, you know, and that influenced his brain going into the fight with Rakic. Like he was like two in a row. He went in that fight, basically one of the first fights that I ever watched. Like
Hmm.
you didn't watch it, don't. You know,
Yeah.
even I think Daniel Cormier said like that both should get a loss.
Wait, that's the first Rakic fight you've seen?
No, I watched his. I cannot say no, but like for this one, now we are doing analysis.
Yeah.
I have to talk shit. Like
Yeah.
otherwise, I'm not talking shit against my people.
Right. I
All
will.
off
Okay, I'll
camera,
agree
off
with you.
camera, I still watch.
I didn't love the fight, but outside of that and the Jan Blachowicz fight, like Rakic, he's impressive. I think he's got like some freak power on him.
Yeah, I think just like he needs to be a little bit more looser on the
Hmm.
trigger if he wanna, how to say. That's why even I think his way to the title is like a little bit longer, and like especially now after this freak accident, like
Hmm.
against Blachowicz, and I think maybe in that fight you saw his full potential, especially I think Blachowicz was a good matchup for him, and
Yeah.
maybe he would like, but we are not here to talk about him. We will have soon enough time as soon as he recover, and hopefully in some good matchup. Uh,
Hopefully. Yep.
Talking about Santos, yeah, and then like he had a win against Johnny Walker,
Yeah.
and then like again he got like a one guy, like I said, and I'm talking for a long time. I can see him as a future champion.
Yeah. Dude, I mean, with John Jones out of the picture, light heavyweight is pretty exciting. Like, you don't know who's gonna be the next champion.
Yeah, they're like changing like after the like how they change jerseys
Yeah.
uh, after the game. It's going, and I think it's gonna continue to go. If you look like now, I think especially if they match up Ankalaev and Prohaska, I think
Oh.
Ankalaev will be a new champion.
Mhm.
That's super bad matchup for Haska. I
Right.
think
Yeah.
that's the worst matchup for him, to be honest.
Uh huh. I mean, it's not that different than before John Jones. Before John Jones came, the light heavyweight belt was changing all the time, right? Shogun, Machida, Rampage, all those
Yeah,
guys.
yeah. Actually, you're right. I think the longest was like Chuck Liddell. Then it
Hmm.
was like stable, but like even then was like Chuck, Couture, Tito. Yeah,
Yep. Rashad, yeah. It was changing
right.
all the time. 205, it's a crazy division. No.
if you go, it makes sense. Like it's like close to the power of the heavyweights, and they have a movement of middleweights. You know, like
Yep,
so.
exactly.
Yeah, yeah, something interesting like that. We can maybe try to break it down and see the history of 205, even maybe through the pride. You know, also like let's
That
see.
would be fun. Yeah, that'd
That's
be fun.
something that we can do in the future. No, let's finish this and close the shop. You know.
Okay, speaking of heavyweight power, I think Jamal Hill's got it. I think he's gonna take this one out. If he doesn't do it in 2 rounds, maybe Santos takes it just because of the leg kicks. I think that'll add up. But I got Jamal Hill inside of 2 rounds KO. How about you?
Yeah, I'll have to go again, like plus 230. Thiago Santos. I think this is like he's 38. You know, like
Yeah,
I think that this is for him to be or not to be. You know, like if you lose this one, he's going back. Not one, not two. I think few steps behind. You know,
yeah,
so and honestly, like I can see him that this matchup will be good for him. You know, because he likes the people like who are gonna every time when Jamal Hill will attack, he will get something behind. You
hmm,
know, he will Thiago will explode. And honestly, I think Jamal Hill, as much as impressive he looked in previous fights, I think this is biggest challenge for him.
for sure.
And we still didn't see him with anyone like this caliber. You know, like OSP, even though all respect, he even came to the title fight. I wouldn't put him even close to the level of Thiago Santos. You
Hmm.
know, so I'm gonna go with Santos on this one. You know, like
Oh, really?
yeah, I think Santos has a chance. You know, and especially like on those plus 230. You know, like I'm gonna try to see something, and especially like I'm gonna probably bet after the match start and like
Mhm.
first few feels, you know, then I'm gonna pull my trigger for something more serious. But like this in some parlay, I'm gonna go with Santos.
And I think of all the underdogs to pick, like Santos probably is the best underdog on this card. You know,
Yeah, for sure.
he's
Yeah,
got so much experience. And Jamal Hill, he doesn't have a lot of fights, and most of his fights in the UFC have actually been in the Apex, so no crowd. And this is gonna be with a crowd at a live event, and that's where Santos has more experience. So could that be a factor? We'll see.
yeah, and I think this is the last one, like for Santos, like you know, the last one to stay in the big leagues. You know, I mean, 38.
Hmm.
Not a big loss. I mean, not really big, but like
Yeah,
it's you know like it's taking away from him. You know, like especially those injuries, surgeries. Like I think like this is his last train. So I think, and honestly, I hope we're gonna see the best Santos ever.
same, same.
Okay, brother. Let's see how this weekend will go. Hopefully,
All right,
we need
let's see it. Enjoy the fights, everybody. All right.
Esmeralda is saying goodbye.
Peace out. Peace, Esmeralda. Peace, Alex.
See you,
All
brother.
right. Catch you guys next time.